31. Do not undervalue attention.
Questioner: as I look at you, you seem to be a poor man with very limited means, facing all the problems of poverty and old age like everybody else.
Maharaj, were I very rich, what difference would it make? I am what I am. What else can I be? I am neither rich nor poor. I am myself.
Yet you are experiencing pleasure and pain.
I am experiencing these in consciousness, but I am neither consciousness nor its content.
You say that in our real being we are all equal. How is it that your experience is so different from ours?
My actual experience is not different. It is my evaluation and attitude that differ. I see the same world as you do, but not the same way. There is nothing mysterious about it. Everybody sees the world through the idea he has of himself. As you think yourself to be, so you think the world to be. If you imagine yourself as separate from the world will appear as separate from you, and you will experience desire and fear. I do not see the world as separate from me, and so there is nothing for me to desire or fear.
You are a point of light in the world. Not everybody is.
There is absolutely no difference between me and others, except in my knowing myself as I am. I am all. I know it for certain, and you do not.
So we differ all the same.
No, we do not. The difference is only in the mind and temporary. I was like you. You will be like me.
God made a most diversified world.
The diversity is in you only. See yourself as you are, and you will see the world as it is. A single block of reality, indivisible, indescribable. Your own creative power projects upon it a picture, and all your questions refer to the picture.
A Tibetan yogi wrote that God creates the world for a purpose and runs it according to a plan. The purpose is good, and the plan is most wise.
All this is temporary, while I am dealing with the eternal. Gods and their universes come and go. Avatars follow each other in endless succession, and in the end, we are back at the source. I talk only of the timeless source of all the gods with all their universes, past, present, and future.
Do you know them all? Do you remember them?
When a few boys stage a play for fun, what is there to see and to remember?
Why is half humanity male and half female?
For their happiness. The impersonal, avyakta, becomes the personal, vyakta, for the sake of happiness in relationship. By the grace of my guru, I can look with equal eye on the impersonal as well as the personal. Both are one to me. In life, the personal merges in the impersonal.
How does the personal emerge from the impersonal?
The two are but aspects of one reality. It is not correct to talk of one preceding the other. All these ideas belong to the waking state.
What brings in the waking state?
At the root of all creation lies desire. Desire and imagination foster and reinforce each other. The fourth state, turiya, is a state of pure witnessing, detached awareness, passionless and wordless. It is like space, unaffected by whatever it contains. Bodily and mental troubles do not reach it. They are outside, there, while the witness is always here.
What is real, the subjective or the objective? I am inclined to believe that the objective universe is the real one, and my subjective psyche is changeful and transient. You seem to claim reality for your inner, subjective states and deny all reality to the concrete, external world.
Both the subjective and the objective are changeful and transient. There is nothing real about them. Find the permanent in the fleeting, the one constant factor in every experience.
What is this constant factor?
My giving it various names and pointing it out in many ways will not help you much unless you have the capacity to see. A dim-sighted man will not see the parrot on the branch of a tree, however much you may prompt him to look. At best, he will see your pointed finger. First, purify your vision. Learn to see instead of staring, and you will perceive the parrot. Also, you must be eager to see. You need both clarity and earnestness for self-knowledge. You need maturity of heart and mind, which comes through earnest application in daily life of whatever little you have understood. There is no such thing as compromise in yoga. If you want to sin, sin wholeheartedly and openly. Sins, too, have their lessons to teach the earnest sinner, as virtues, the earnest saint. It is the mixing up the two that is so disastrous. Nothing can block you so effectively as compromise, for it shows lack of earnestness, without which nothing can be done.
I approve of austerity, but in practice I am all for luxury. The habit of chasing pleasure and shunning pain is so ingrained in me that all my good intentions, quite alive on the level of theory, find no roots in my day-to-day life. To tell me that I am not honest does not help me, for I just do not know how to make myself honest.
You are neither honest nor dishonest. Giving names to mental states is good only for expressing your approval or disapproval. The problem is not yours. It is your mind's only. Begin by disassociating yourself from your mind. Resolutely remind yourself that you are not the mind and that its problems are not yours.
I may go on telling myself, I am not the mind, I am not concerned with its problems. But the mind remains and its problems remain just as they were. Now, please do not tell me that it is because I am not earnest enough and I should be more earnest. I know it and admit it and only ask you, how is it done?
At least you are asking. Good enough for a start. Go on pondering, wondering, being anxious to find a way. Be conscious of yourself. Watch your mind. Give it your full attention. Don't look for quick results. There may be none within your noticing. Unknown to you, your psyche will undergo a change. There will be more clarity in your thinking, charity in your feeling, purity in your behavior. You need not aim at these. You will witness the change all the same. For what you are now is the result of inattention, and what you become will be the fruit of attention.
Why should mere attention make all the difference?
So far, your life was dark and restless, tamas and rajas. Attention, alertness, awareness, clarity, liveliness, vitality are all manifestations of integrity, oneness with your true nature, sattva. It is in the nature of sattva to reconcile and neutralize tamas and rajas and rebuild the personality in accordance with the true nature of the self. Sattva is the faithful servant of the self, ever attentive and obedient.
And I shall come to it through mere attention?
Do not undervalue attention. It means interest and also love. To know, to do, to discover, or to create, you must give your heart to it, which means attention. All the blessings flow from it.
You advise us to concentrate on I am. Is this too a form of attention?
What else? Give your undivided attention to the most important in your life, yourself. Of your personal universe, you are the center. Without knowing the center, what else can you know?
But how can I know myself? To know myself, I must be away from myself. But what is away from myself cannot be myself. So, it looks that I cannot know myself, only what I take to be myself.
Quite right. As you cannot see your face, but only its reflection in the mirror. So you can know only your image reflected in the stainless mirror of pure awareness.
How am I to get such stainless mirror?
Obviously, by removing stains. See the stains and remove them. The ancient teaching is fully valid.
What is seeing and what is removing?
The nature of the perfect mirror is such that you cannot see it. Whatever you can see is bound to be a stain. Turn away from it, give it up. Know it as unwanted.
All perceivables, are they stains?
All are stains.
The entire world is a stain.
Yes, it is.
How awful. So, the universe is of no value.
It is of tremendous value. By going beyond it, you realize yourself.
But why did it come into being in the first instance?
You will know it when it ends.
Will it ever end?
Yes, for you.
When did it begin?
Now.
When will it end?
Now.
It does not end now?
You don't let it.
I want to let it.
You don't. All your life is connected with it. Your past and future, your desires and fears, all have their roots in the world. Without the world, where are you? Who are you?
But that is exactly what I came to find out.
And I am telling you exactly this. Find a foothold beyond, and all will be clear and easy.
32. Life is the supreme guru.
Questioner. We two came from far-off countries. One of us is British, the other American. The world in which we were born is falling apart, and, being young, we are concerned. The old people hope they will die their own death, but the young have no such hope. Some of us may refuse to kill, but none can refuse to be killed. Can we hope to set the world right within our lifetime?
Maharaj, what makes you think that the world is going to perish?
The instruments of destruction have become unbelievably potent. Also, our very productivity has become destructive of nature and of our cultural and social values.
You are talking of the present times. It has been so everywhere and always. But the distressing situation may be temporary and local. Once over, it will be forgotten.
The scale of the impending catastrophe is unbelievably big. We live in the midst of an explosion.
Each man suffers alone and dies alone. Numbers are irrelevant. There is as much death when 1,000,000 die as when one perishes.
Nature kills by the millions, but this does not frighten me. There may be tragedy or mystery in it, but no cruelty. What horrifies me is man-made suffering, destruction, and desolation. Nature is magnificent in its doings and undoings, but there is meanness and madness in the acts of man.
Right? So, it is not suffering and death that are your problem, but the meanness and madness at their root. Is not meanness also a form of madness, and is not madness the misuse of the mind? Humanity's problem lies in this misuse of the mind only. All the treasures of nature and spirit are open to man, who will use his mind rightly.
What is the right use of mind?
Fear and greed cause the misuse of the mind. The right use of mind is in the service of love, of life, of truth, of beauty.
Easier said than done. Love of truth, of man, goodwill. What luxury! We need plenty of it to set the world right, but who will provide?
You can spend an eternity looking elsewhere for truth and love, intelligence and goodwill, imploring God and man, all in vain. You must begin in yourself, with yourself. This is the inexorable law. You cannot change the image without changing the face. First realize that your world is only a reflection of yourself, and stop finding fault with the reflection. Attend to yourself. Set yourself right, mentally and emotionally. The physical will follow automatically. You talk so much of reforms, economic, social, political. Leave alone the reforms and mind the reformer. What kind of world can a man create who is stupid, greedy, heartless?
If we have to wait for a change of heart, we shall have to wait indefinitely. Yours is a counsel of perfection, which is also a counsel of despair. When all are perfect, the world will be perfect. What useless truism!
I did not say it. I only said, you cannot change the world before changing yourself. I did not say, before changing everybody. It is neither necessary nor possible to change others. But if you can change yourself, you will find that no other change is needed. To change the picture, you merely change the film. You do not attack the cinema screen.
How can you be so sure of yourself? How do you know that what you say is true?
It is not of myself that I am sure. I am sure of you. All you need is to stop searching outside what can be found only within. Set your vision right before you operate. You are suffering from acute misapprehension. Clarify your mind, purify your heart, sanctify your life. This is the quickest way to a change of your world.
So many saints and mystics lived and died. They did not change my world.
How could they? Your world is not theirs, nor is there yours.
Surely there is a factual world common to all.
The world of things, of energy and matter. Even if there were such a common world of things and forces, it is not the world in which we live. Ours is a world of feelings and ideas, of attractions and repulsions, of scales of values, of motives and incentives, a mental world altogether. Biologically, we need very little. Our problems are of a different order. Problems created by desires and fears and wrong ideas can be solved only on the level of the mind. You must conquer your own mind, and for this, you must go beyond it.
What does it mean to go beyond the mind?
You have gone beyond the body, haven't you? You do not closely follow your digestion, circulation, or elimination. These have become automatic. In the same way, the mind should work automatically, without calling for attention. This will not happen unless the mind works faultlessly. We are, most of our time, mind and body conscious because they constantly call for help. Pain and suffering are only the body and the mind screaming for attention. To go beyond the body, you must be healthy. To go beyond the mind, you must have your mind in perfect order. You cannot leave a mess behind and go beyond. The mess will bog you up. Pick up your rubbish seems to be the universal law, and a just law too.
Am I permitted to ask you, how did you go beyond the mind?
By the grace of my guru.
What shape his grace took?
He told me what is true.
What did he tell you?
He told me I am the supreme reality.
What did you do about it?
I trusted him and remembered it.
Is that all?
Yes, I remembered him. I remembered what he said.
You mean to say that this was enough?
What more needs be done? It was quite a lot to remember the Guru and his words. My advice to you is even less difficult than this. Just remember yourself. I am is enough to heal your mind and take you beyond. Just have some trust. I don't mislead you. Why should I? Do I want anything from you? I wish you well. Such is my nature. Why should I mislead you? Common sense, too, will tell you that to fulfill a desire, you must keep your mind on it. If you want to know your true nature, you must have yourself in mind all the time, until the secret of your being stands revealed.
Why should self-remembrance bring one to self-realization?
Because they are but two aspects of the same state. Self-remembrance is in the mind. Self-realization is beyond the mind. The image in the mirror is of the face beyond the mirror.
Fair enough. But what is the purpose?
To help others, one must be beyond the need of help.
All I want is to be happy.
Be happy to make happy.
Let others take care of themselves.
Sir, you are not separate. The happiness you cannot share is spurious. Only the shareable is truly desirable.
Right? But do I need a guru? What you tell me is simple and convincing. I shall remember it. This does not make you my guru.
It is not the worship of a person that is crucial, but the steadiness and depth of your devotion to the task. Life itself is the supreme guru. Be attentive to its lessons and obedient to its commands. When you personalize their source, you have an outer guru. When you take them from life directly, the guru is within. Remember, wonder, ponder, live with it, love it, grow into it, grow with it, make it your own. The word of your guru, outer or inner. Put in all and you will get all. I was doing it. All my time I was giving to my guru and to what he told me.
I am a writer by profession. Can you give me some advice for me specifically?
Writing is both a talent and a skill. Grow in talent and develop in skill. Desire what is worth desiring and desire it well. Just like you pick your way in a crowd, passing between people, so you find your way between events, without missing your general direction. It is easy if you are earnest.
So many times you mention the need of being earnest. But we are not men of single will. We are congeries of desires and needs, instincts and promptings. They crawl over each other, sometimes one, sometimes another, dominating, but never for long.
There are no needs, desires only.
To eat, to drink, to shelter one's body, to live.
The desire to live is the one fundamental desire. All else depends on it.
We live because we must.
We live because we crave sensory existence.
A thing so universal cannot be wrong.
Not wrong, of course. In its own place and time, nothing is wrong. But when you are concerned with truth, with reality, you must question everything, your very life. By asserting the necessity of sensory and intellectual experience, you narrow down your inquiry to search for comfort.
I seek happiness, not comfort.
Beyond comfort of mind and body, what happiness do you know?
Is there any other?
Find out for yourself. Question every urge. Hold no desire legitimate. Empty of possession, physical and mental. Free of all self-concern. Be open for discovery.
It is a part of Indian spiritual tradition that mere living in the proximity of a saint or sage is conducive to liberation and no other means are needed. Why don't you organize an ashram so that people could live near you?
The moment I create an institution, I become its prisoner. As a matter of fact, I am available to all. Common roof and food will not make people more welcome. Living near does not mean breathing the same air. It means trusting and obeying, not letting the good intentions of the teacher go to waste. Have your guru always in your heart and remember his instructions. This is real abidance with the true. Physical proximity is least important. Make your entire life an expression of your faith and love for your teacher. This is real dwelling with the Guru.
33. Everything happens by itself.
Questioner. Does a Jinani die?
Maharaj, he is beyond life and death. What we take to be inevitable, to be born and to die, appears to him but a way of expressing movement in the immovable, change in the changeless, end in the endless. To the Janani, it is obvious that nothing is born and nothing dies, nothing lasts and nothing changes. All is as it is, timelessly.
You say the Jinani is beyond. Beyond what? Beyond knowledge?
Knowledge has its rising and setting. Consciousness comes into being and goes out of being. It is a matter of daily occurrence and observation. We all know that sometimes we are conscious and sometimes not. When we are not conscious, it appears to us as a darkness or a blank. But a jnani is aware of himself as neither conscious nor unconscious, but purely aware. A witness to the three states of the mind and their contents.
When does this witnessing begin?
To a Jnani, nothing has beginning or ending. As salt dissolves in water, so does everything dissolve into pure being. Wisdom is eternally negating the unreal. To see the unreal is wisdom. Beyond this lies the inexpressible.
There is in me the conviction, I am the body. Granted, I am talking from unwisdom, but the state of feeling oneself, the body, mind, the mind-body, or even pure mind. When did it begin?
You cannot speak of a beginning of consciousness. The very ideas of beginning and time are within consciousness. To talk meaningfully of the beginning of anything, you must step out of it. And the moment you step out, you realize that there is no such thing and never was. There is only reality, in which no thing has any being on its own. Like waves are inseparable from the ocean, so is all existence rooted in being.
The fact is that here and now I am asking you, when did the feeling I am the body arise? At my birth or this morning?
Now,
But I remember having it yesterday too.
the memory of yesterday is now only.
But surely I exist in time. I have a past and a future.
That is how you imagine. Now.
There must have been a beginning.
Now.
And what about ending?
What has no beginning cannot end.
But I am conscious of my question.
A false question cannot be answered. It can only be seen as false.
To me, it is real.
When did it appear real to you? Now,
Yes, it is quite real to me. Now,
what is real about your question? It is a state of mind. No state of mind can be more real than the mind itself. Is the mind real? It is but a collection of states, each of them transitory. How can a succession of transitory states be considered real?
like beads on a string, events follow events. Forever.
They are all strung on the basic idea. I am the body. But even this is a mental state and does not last. It comes and goes like all other states. The illusion of being the body-mind is there, only because it is not investigated. Non-investigation is the thread on which all the states of mind are strung. It is like darkness in a closed room. It is there, apparently, but when the room is opened, where does it go? It goes nowhere, because it was not there. All states of mind, all names and forms of existence are rooted in non-inquiry, non-investigation, in imagination and credulity. It is right to say, I am, but to say, I am this, I am that, is a sign of not inquiring, not examining, of mental weakness or lethargy.
If all is light, how did darkness arise? How can there be darkness in the midst of light?
There is no darkness in the midst of light. Self-forgetfulness is the darkness. When we are absorbed in other things, in the not-self, we forget the self. There is nothing unnatural about it. But why forget the self through excess of attachment? Wisdom lies in never forgetting the self as the ever-present source of both the experiencer and his experience.
In my present state, the I am the body idea comes spontaneously, while the I am pure being idea must be imposed on the mind as something true but not experienced.
Yes, sadhana, practice, consists in reminding oneself forcibly of one's pure beingness, of not being anything in particular, nor a sum of particulars, not even the totality of all particulars, which make up a universe. All exists in the mind. Even the body is an integration in the mind of a vast number of sensory perceptions, each perception also a mental state. If you say, I am the body, show it.
Here it is.
Only when you think of it. Both mind and body are intermittent states. The sum total of these flashes creates the illusion of existence. Inquire what is permanent in the transient, real in the unreal. This is sadhana.
The fact is that I am thinking of myself as the body.
Think of yourself by all means. Only don't bring the idea of a body into the picture. There is only a stream of sensations, perceptions, memories, and ideations. The body is an abstraction, created by our tendency to seek unity in diversity, which again is not wrong.
I am being told that to think I am the body is a blemish in the mind.
Why talk like this? Such expressions create problems. The self is the source of all, and of all, the final destination. Nothing is external.
When the body idea becomes obsessive, is it not altogether wrong?
There is nothing wrong in the idea of a body, nor even in the idea, I am the body. But limiting oneself to one body only is a mistake. In reality, all existence, every form, is my own, within my consciousness. I cannot tell what I am because words can describe only what I am not. I am, and because I am, all is. But I am beyond consciousness, and therefore, in consciousness, I cannot say what I am. Yet I am. The question, who am I, has no answer. No experience can answer it, for the self is beyond experience.
Still, the question, who am I, must be of some use.
It has no answer in consciousness, and therefore helps to go beyond consciousness.
Here I am, in the present moment. What is real in it, and what is not? Now, please don't tell me that my question is wrong. Questioning my questions leads me nowhere.
Your question is not wrong. It is unnecessary. You said, here and now I am. Stop there. This is real. Don't turn a fact into a question. There lies your mistake. You are neither knowing nor not knowing, neither mind nor matter. Don't attempt to describe yourself in terms of mind and matter.
Just now, a boy came to you with a problem. You told him a few words and he went away. Did you help him?
Of course.
Wow, can you be so sure?
To help is my nature.
How did you come to know it?
No need to know. It operates by itself.
Still, you have made a statement. On what is it based?
On what people tell me. But it is you who asks for proofs. I do not need them. Setting things right lies in my very nature, which is Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, the true, the good, the beautiful.
When a man comes to you for advice and you give him advice, wherefrom does it come and by what power does it help?
His own being affects his mind and induces a response.
And what is your role?
In me, the man and his self come together.
Why does not the self help the man without you?
But I am the self. You imagine me as separate, hence your question. There is no myself and his self. There is the self, the only self of all. Misled by the diversity of names and shapes, minds and bodies, you imagine multiple selves. We both are the self, but you seem to be unconvinced. This talk of personal self and universal self is the learner's stage. Go beyond. Don't be stuck in duality.
Let us come back to the man in need of help. He comes to you.
If he comes, he is sure to get help. Because he was destined to get help, he came. There is nothing fanciful about it. I cannot help some and refuse others. All who come are helped, for such is the law. Only the shape help takes varies according to the need.
Why must he come here to get advice? Can't he get it from within?
He will not listen. His mind is turned outward. But in fact, all experience is in the mind, and even his coming to me and getting help is all within himself. Instead of finding an answer within himself, he imagines an answer from without. To me there is no me, no man, and no giving. All this is merely a flicker in the mind. I am infinite peace and silence, in which nothing appears, for all that appears disappears. Nobody comes for help. Nobody offers help. Nobody gets help. It is all but a display in consciousness.
Yet the power to help is there, and there is somebody or something that displays that power. Call it God or self or the universal mind. The name does not matter, but the fact does.
This is the stand the body-mind takes. The pure mind sees things as they are, bubbles in consciousness. These bubbles are appearing, disappearing, and reappearing without having real being. No particular cause can be ascribed to them, for each is caused by all and affects all. Each bubble is a body, and all these bodies are mine.
Do you mean to say that you have the power to do everything rightly?
There is no power as separate from me. It is inherent in my very nature. Call it creativity. Out of a lump of gold, you can make many ornaments. Each will remain gold. Similarly, in whatever role I may appear and whatever function I may perform, I remain what I am. The I am immovable, unshakable, independent. What you call the universe, nature, is my spontaneous creativity. Whatever happens, happens. But such is my nature that all ends in joy.
I have a case of a boy gone blind because his stupid mother fed him methyl alcohol. I am requesting you to help him. You are full of compassion and, obviously, eager to help. By what power can you help him?
His case is registered in consciousness. It is there, indelibly. Consciousness will operate.
Does it make any difference that I ask you to help?
Your asking is a part of the boy's blindness. Because he is blind, you ask. You have added nothing.
But your help will be a new factor?
No. All is contained in the boy's blindness. All is in it. The mother, the boy, you and me, and all else. It is one event.
You mean to say that even our discussing the boy's case was predestined?
How else? All things contain their future. The boy appears in consciousness. I am beyond. I do not issue orders to consciousness. I know that it is in the nature of awareness to set things right. Let consciousness look after its creations. The boy's sorrow, your pity, my listening and consciousness acting, all this is one single fact. Don't split it into components, and then ask questions.
How strangely does your mind work?
You are strange, not me. I am normal. I am sane. I see things as they are, and therefore I am not afraid of them. But you are afraid of reality.
Why should I?
It is ignorance of yourself that makes you afraid, and also unaware that you are afraid. Don't try not to be afraid. Break down the wall of ignorance first. People are afraid to die because they do not know what is death. The Janani has died before his death. He saw that there was nothing to be afraid of. The moment you know your real being, you are afraid of nothing. Death gives freedom and power. To be free in the world, you must die to the world. Then the universe is your own. It becomes your body, an expression and a tool. The happiness of being absolutely free is beyond description. On the other hand, he who is afraid of freedom cannot die.
You mean that one who cannot die cannot live?
Put it as you like. Attachment is bondage, detachment is freedom. To crave is to slave.
Does it follow that if you are saved, the world is saved?
As a whole, the world does not need saving. Man makes mistakes and creates sorrow. When it enters the field of awareness, the consciousness of a Janani, it is set right. Such is his nature.
We can observe what may be called spiritual progress. A selfish man turns religious, controls himself, refines his thoughts and feelings. takes to spiritual practice, realizes his true being. Is such progress ruled by causality, or is it accidental?
From my point of view, everything happens by itself, quite spontaneously. But man imagines that he works for an incentive, towards a goal. He has always a reward in mind and strives for it.
A crude, unevolved man will not work without a reward. Is it not right to offer him incentives?
He will create for himself incentives anyhow. He does not know that to grow is in the nature of consciousness. He will progress from motive to motive, and will chase gurus for the fulfillment of his desires. When by the laws of his being he finds the way of return, nivritti, he abandons all motives, for his interest in the world is over. He wants nothing, neither from others nor from himself. He dies to all and becomes the all. To want nothing and do nothing, that is true creation. To watch the universe emerging and subsiding in one's heart is a wonder.
The great obstacle to inner effort is boredom. The disciple gets bored.
Inertia and restlessness, tamas and rajas, work together and keep clarity and harmony, sattva, down. Tamas and rajas must be conquered before sattva can appear. It will all come in due course, quite spontaneously.
Is there no need of effort then?
When effort is needed, effort will appear. When effortlessness becomes essential, it will assert itself. You need not push life about. Just flow with it and give yourself completely to the task of the present moment, which is the dying now to the now. For living is dying. Without death, life cannot be. Get hold of the main thing, that the world and the self are one and perfect. Only your attitude is faulty and needs readjustment. This process or readjustment is what you call sadhana. You come to it by putting an end to indolence and using all your energy to clear the way for clarity and charity. But in reality, these all are signs of inevitable growth. Don't be afraid, don't resist, don't delay. Be what you are. There is nothing to be afraid of. Trust and try. Experiment honestly. Give your real being a chance to shape your life. You will not regret.
34. Mind is restlessness itself.
Questioner: I am a Swede by birth. Now I am teaching Hatha Yoga in Mexico and in the States.
Maharaj, where did you learn it?
I had a teacher in the States, an Indian Swami.
What did it give you?
It gave me good health and a means of livelihood.
Good enough. Is it all you want?
I seek peace of mind. I got disgusted with all the cruel things done by the so-called Christians in the name of Christ. For some time, I was without religion. Then I got attracted to yoga.
What did you gain?
I studied the philosophy of yoga, and it did help me.
In what way did it help you? By what signs did you conclude that you have been helped?
Good health is something quite tangible.
No doubt it is very pleasant to feel fit. Is pleasure all you expected from yoga?
The joy of well-being is the reward of Hatha Yoga, but yoga in general yields more than that. It answers many questions.
What do you mean by yoga?
The whole teaching of India, evolution, reincarnation, karma, and so on.
All right, you got all the knowledge you wanted. But in what way are you benefited by it?
It gave me peace of mind.
Did it? Is your mind at peace? Is your search over?
No, not yet.
Naturally. There will be no end to it, because there is no such thing as peace of mind. Mind means disturbance. Restlessness itself is mind. Yoga is not an attribute of the mind, nor is it a state of mind.
Some measure of peace I did derive from yoga.
Examine closely, and you will see that the mind is seething with thoughts. It may go blank occasionally, but it does it for a time, and reverts to its usual restlessness. A becalmed mind is not a peaceful mind. You say you want to pacify your mind. Is he who wants to pacify the mind himself peaceful?
No, I am not at peace. I take the help of yoga.
Don't you see the contradiction? For many years you sought your peace of mind. You could not find it. For a thing essentially restless cannot be at peace.
There is some improvement.
The peace you claim to have found is very brittle. Any little thing can crack it. What you call peace is only absence of disturbance. It is hardly worth the name. The real peace cannot be disturbed. Can you claim a peace of mind that is unassailable?
I am striving.
Striving, too, is a form of restlessness.
So what remains?
The self does not need to be put to rest. It is peace itself, not at peace. Only the mind is restless. All it knows is restlessness, with its many modes and grades. The pleasant are considered superior, and the painful are discounted. What we call progress is merely a change over from the unpleasant to the pleasant. But changes by themselves cannot bring us to the changeless. For whatever has a beginning must have an end. The real does not begin. It only reveals itself as beginningless and endless, all-pervading, all-powerful, immovable prime mover, timelessly changeless.
So what has one to do?
Through yoga, you have accumulated knowledge and experience. This cannot be denied. But of what use is it all to you? Yoga means union, joining. What have you reunited, rejoined?
I am trying to rejoin the personality back to the real self.
The personality, vyakti, is but a product of imagination. The self, vyakta, is the victim of this imagination. It is the taking yourself to be what you are not that binds you. The person cannot be said to exist on its own rights. It is the self that believes there is a person and is conscious of being it. Beyond the self, vyakta, lies the unmanifested, avyakta, the causeless cause of everything. Even to talk of reuniting the person with the self is not right, because there is no person, only a mental picture given a false reality by conviction. Nothing was divided, and there is nothing to unite.
Yoga helps in the search for and the finding of the self.
You can find what you have lost, but you cannot find what you have not lost.
Had I never lost anything, I would have been enlightened. But I am not. I am searching. Is not my very search a proof of my having lost something?
It only shows that you believe you have lost. But who believes it? And what is believed to be lost? Have you lost a person like yourself? What is the self you are in search of? What exactly do you expect to find?
The true knowledge of the self.
The true knowledge of the self is not a knowledge. It is not something that you find by searching, by looking everywhere. It is not to be found in space or time. Knowledge is but a memory, a pattern of thought, a mental habit. All these are motivated by pleasure and pain. It is because you are goaded by pleasure and pain that you are in search of knowledge. Being oneself is completely beyond all motivation. You cannot be yourself for some reason. You are yourself, and no reason is needed.
By doing yoga, I shall find peace.
Can there be peace apart from yourself? Are you talking from your own experience or from books only? Your book knowledge is useful to begin with, but soon it must be given up for direct experience, which by its very nature is inexpressible. Words can be used for destruction also. Of words, images are built. By words, they are destroyed. You got yourself into your present state through verbal thinking. You must get out of it the same way.
I did attain a degree of inner peace. Am I to destroy it?
What has been attained may be lost again. Only when you realize the true peace, the peace you have never lost, that peace will remain with you, for it was never away. Instead of searching for what you do not have, find out what is it that you have never lost. That which is there before the beginning and after the ending of everything, that to which there is no birth nor death. That immovable state, which is not affected by the birth and death of a body or a mind, that state you must perceive.
What are the means to such perception?
In life, nothing can be had without overcoming obstacles. The obstacles to the clear perception of one's true being are desire for pleasure and fear of pain. It is the pleasure-pain motivation that stands in the way. The very freedom from all motivation, the state in which no desire arises, is the natural state.
Such giving up of desires, does it need time?
If you leave it to time, millions of years will be needed. Giving up desire after desire is a lengthy process, with the end never in sight. Leave alone your desires and fears. Give your entire attention to the subject, to him who is behind the experience of desire and fear. Ask, who desires? Let each desire bring you back to yourself.
The root of all desires and fears is the same, the longing for happiness.
The happiness you can think of and long for is mere physical or mental satisfaction. Such sensory or mental pleasure is not the real, the absolute happiness.
Even sensory and mental pleasures and the general sense of well-being which arises with physical and mental health must have their roots in reality.
They have their roots in imagination. A man who is given a stone and assured that it is a priceless diamond will be mightily pleased until he realizes his mistake. In the same way, pleasures lose their tang and pains their barb when the self is known. Both are seen as they are: conditional responses, mere reactions, plain attractions and repulsions based on memories or preconceptions. Usually, pleasure and pain are experienced when expected. It is all a matter of acquired habits and convictions.
Well, pleasure may be imaginary, but pain is real.
Pain and pleasure go always together. Freedom from one means freedom from both. If you do not care for pleasure, you will not be afraid of pain. But there is happiness, which is neither, which is completely beyond. The happiness you know is describable and measurable. It is objective, so to say. But the objective cannot be your own. It would be a grievous mistake to identify yourself with something external. This churning up of levels leads nowhere. Reality is beyond the subjective and objective, beyond all levels, beyond every distinction. Most definitely, it is not their origin, source, or root. These come from ignorance of reality, not from reality itself, which is indescribable beyond being and not being.
Many teachers have I followed and studied many doctrines, yet none gave me what I wanted.
The desire to find the self will be surely fulfilled, provided you want nothing else. But you must be honest with yourself and really want nothing else. If in the meantime you want many other things and are engaged in their pursuit, your main purpose may be delayed until you grow wiser and cease being torn between contradictory urges. Go within, without swerving, without ever looking outward.
But my desires and fears are still there.
Where are they but in your memory? Realize that their root is in expectation born of memory, and they will cease to obsess you.
I have understood very well that social service is an endless task because improvement and decay, progress and regress go side by side. We can see it on all sides and on every level. What remains?
Whatever work you have undertaken, complete it. Do not take up new tasks unless it is called for by a concrete situation of suffering and relief from suffering. Find yourself first, and endless blessings will follow. Nothing profits the world as much as the abandoning of profits. A man who no longer thinks in terms of loss and gain is the truly non-violent man, for he is beyond all conflict.
Yes, I was always attracted by the idea of ahimsa, nonviolence.
Primarily, ahimsa means what it says: don't hurt. It is not doing good that comes first, but ceasing to hurt, not adding to suffering. Pleasing others is not ahimsa.
I am not talking of pleasing, but I am all for helping others.
The only help worth giving is freeing from the need for further help. Repeated help is no help at all. Do not talk of helping another, unless you can put him beyond all need of help.
How does one go beyond the need of help? And can one help another to do so?
When you have understood that all existence, in separation and limitation, is painful, and when you are willing and able to live integrally, in oneness with all life, as pure being, you have gone beyond all need of help. You can help another by precept and example, and, above all, by your being. You cannot give what you do not have, and you don't have what you are not. You can only give what you are, and of that, you can give limitlessly.
But is it true that all existence is painful?
What else can be the cause of this universal search for pleasure? Does a happy man seek happiness? How restless people are, how constantly on the move. It is because they are in pain that they seek relief in pleasure. All the happiness they can imagine is in the assurance of repeated pleasure.
If what I am as I am, the person I take myself to be, cannot be happy, then what am I to do?
You can only cease to be, as you seem to be now. There is nothing cruel in what I say. To wake up a man from a nightmare is compassion. You came here because you are in pain, and all I say is, wake up, know yourself, be yourself. The end of pain lies not in pleasure. When you realize that you are beyond both pain and pleasure, aloof and unassailable, then the pursuit of happiness ceases, and the resultant sorrow too. For pain aims at pleasure, and pleasure ends in pain, relentlessly.
In the ultimate state, there can be no happiness?
Nor sorrow, only freedom. Happiness depends on something or other, and can be lost. Freedom from everything depends on nothing, and cannot be lost. Freedom from sorrow has no cause, and therefore cannot be destroyed. Realize that freedom.
Am I not born to suffer as a result of my past? Is freedom possible at all? Was I born of my own will? Am I not just a creature?
What is birth and death but the beginning and the ending of a stream of events in consciousness? Because of the idea of separation and limitation, they are painful. Momentary relief from pain we call pleasure, and we build castles in the air hoping for endless pleasure which we call happiness. It is all misunderstanding and misuse. Wake up, go beyond, live really.
My knowledge is limited, my power negligible.
Being the source of both. The self is beyond both knowledge and power. The observable is in the mind. The nature of the self is pure awareness, pure witnessing, unaffected by the presence or absence of knowledge or liking. Have your being outside this body of birth and death, and all your problems will be solved. They exist because you believe yourself born to die. Undeceive yourself and be free. You are not a person.
35. Greatest guru is your inner self.
Questioner. On all sides, I hear that freedom from desires and inclinations is the first condition of self-realization. But I find the condition impossible of fulfillment. Ignorance of oneself causes desires, and desires perpetuate ignorance. A truly vicious circle.
Maharaj, there are no conditions to fulfill. There is nothing to be done, nothing to be given up. Just look and remember. Whatever you perceive is not you, nor yours. It is there in the field of consciousness, but you are not the field and its contents, nor even the knower of the field. It is your idea that you have to do things that entangle you in the results of your efforts, the motive, the desire, the failure to achieve, the sense of frustration. All this holds you back. Simply look at whatever happens and know that you are beyond it.
Does it mean I should abstain from doing anything?
You cannot. What goes on must go on. If you stop suddenly, you will crash.
Is it a matter of the known and the knower becoming one?
Both are ideas in the mind and words that express them. There is no self in them. The self is neither between nor beyond. To look for it on the mental level is futile. Stop searching and see. It is here and now. It is that I am, you know so well. All you need to do is to cease taking yourself to be within the field of consciousness. Unless you have already considered these matters carefully, listening to me once will not do. Forget your past experiences and achievements. Stand naked, exposed to the winds and rains of life, and you will have a chance.
Has devotion, bhakti, any place in your teaching?
When you are not well, you go to a physician who tells you what is wrong and what is the remedy. If you have confidence in him, it makes things simple. You take the medicine, follow the diet restrictions, and get well. But if you do not trust him, you may still take a chance, or you may study medicine yourself. In all cases, it is your desire for recovery that moves you, not the physician. Without trust, there is no peace. Somebody or other you always trust. It may be your mother or your wife. Of all the people, the knower of the self, the liberated man, is the most trustworthy. But merely to trust is not enough. You must also desire. Without desire for freedom, of what use is the confidence that you can acquire freedom? Desire and confidence must go together. The stronger your desire, the easier comes the help. The greatest guru is helpless as long as the disciple is not eager to learn. Eagerness and earnestness are all important. Confidence will come with experience. Be devoted to your goal, and devotion to him who can guide you will follow. If your desire and confidence are strong, they will operate and take you to your goal, for you will not cause delay by hesitation and compromise. The greatest guru is your inner self. Truly, he is the supreme teacher. He alone can take you to your goal, and he alone meets you at the end of the road. Confide in him, and you need no outer guru. But again, you must have the strong desire to find him and do nothing that will create obstacles and delays. And do not waste energy and time on regrets. Learn from your mistakes and do not repeat them.
If you do not mind my asking a personal question,
Yes, go ahead.
I see you sitting on an antelope skin. How does it tally with nonviolence?
All my working life, I was a cigarette maker, helping people to spoil their health. And in front of my door, the municipality has put up a public lavatory, spoiling my health. In this violent world, how can one keep away from violence of some kind or other?
Surely all avoidable violence should be avoided. And yet in India, every holy man has his tiger, lion, leopard, or antelope skin to sit on.
Maybe because no plastics were available in ancient times, and a skin was best to keep the damp away. Rheumatism has no charm, even for a saint. Thus the tradition arose that for lengthy meditations, a skin is needed. Just like the drum hide in a temple, so is the antelope skin of a yogi. We hardly notice it.
But the animal had to be killed.
I have never heard of a yogi killing a tiger for his hide. The killers are not yogis, and the yogis are not killers.
Should you not express your disapproval by refusing to sit on a skin?
What an idea! I disapprove of the entire universe. Why only a skin?
What is wrong with the universe?
Forgetting yourself is the greatest injury. All the calamities flow from it. Take care of the most important. The lesser will take care of itself. You do not tidy up a dark room. You open the windows first. Letting in the light makes everything easy. So, let us wait with improving others until we have seen ourselves as we are and have changed. There is no need to turn round and round in endless questioning. Find yourself and everything will fall into its proper place.
The urge to return to the source is very rare. Is it at all natural?
Outgoing is natural in the beginning, ingoing in the end. But in reality, the two are one, just like breathing in and out are one.
In the same way, are not the body and the dweller in the body one?
Events in time and space, birth and death, cause and effect, these may be taken as one. But the body and the embodied are not of the same order of reality. The body exists in time and space, transient and limited, while the dweller is timeless and spaceless, eternal and all-pervading. To identify the two is a grievous mistake, and the cause of endless suffering. You can speak of the mind and body as one, but the body-mind is not the underlying reality.
Whoever he may be, the dweller is in control of the body, and therefore responsible for it.
There is a universal power which is in control and is responsible.
And so, I can do as I like and put the blame on some universal power? How easy.
Yes, very easy. Just realize the one mover behind all that moves and leave all to him. If you do not hesitate or cheat, this is the shortest way to reality. Stand without desire and fear, relinquishing all control and all responsibility.
What madness!
Yes, divine madness. What is wrong in letting go the illusion of personal control and personal responsibility? Both are in the mind only. Of course, as long as you imagine yourself to be in control, you should also imagine yourself to be responsible. One implies the other.
How can the universal be responsible for the particular?
All life on earth depends on the sun. Yet you cannot blame the sun for all that happens, though it is the ultimate cause. Light causes the color of the flower, but it neither controls nor is responsible for it directly. It makes it possible, that is all.
What I do not like in all this is taking refuge in some universal power.
You cannot quarrel with facts.
Whose facts? Yours or mine?
Yours. You cannot deny my facts, for you do not know them. Could you know them, you would not deny them. Here lies the trouble. You take your imagining for facts, and my facts for imagination. I know for certain that all is one. Differences do not separate. Either you are responsible for nothing or for everything. To imagine that you are in control and responsible for one body only is the aberration of the body-mind.
Still, you are limited by your body.
Only in matters pertaining to the body. This I do not mind. It is like enduring the seasons of the year. They come, they go, they hardly affect me. In the same way body-minds come and go, life is forever in search of new expressions.
As long as you do not put all the burden of evil on God, I am satisfied. There may be a God for all I know, but to me he is a concept projected by the human mind. He may be a reality to you, but to me society is more real than God, for I am both its creature and its prisoner. Your values are wisdom and compassion, society's sagacious selfishness. I live in a world quite different from yours.
None compels.
None compels you, but I am compelled. My world is an evil world, full of tears, toil, and pain. To explain it away by the intellectualizing, by putting forth theories of the evolution and karma is merely adding insult to injury. The God of an evil world is a cruel God.
You are the God of your world, and you are both stupid and cruel. Let God be a concept, your own creation. Find out who you are. How did you come to live, longing for truth, goodness, and beauty in a world full of evil? Of what use is your arguing for or against God, when you just do not know who is God and what are you talking about? The God born of fear and hope, shaped by desire and imagination, cannot be the power that is, the mind and the heart of the universe.
I agree that the world I live in and the God I believe in are both creatures of imagination. But in what way are they created by desire? Why do I imagine a world so painful and a God so indifferent? What is wrong with me that I should torture myself so cruelly? The enlightened man comes and tells me, it is but a dream to put an end to. But is he not himself a part of the dream? I find myself trapped and see no way out. You say you are free. Of what are you free? For heaven's sake, don't feed me on words. Enlighten me. Help me to wake up, since it is you who sees me tossing in my sleep.
When I say I am free, I merely state a fact. If you are an adult, you are free from infancy. I am free from all description and identification. Whatever you may hear, see, or think of, I am not that. I am free from being a percept or a concept.
Still, you have a body and you depend on it.
Again, you assume that your point of view is the only correct one. I repeat, I was not, am not, shall not be a body. To me, this is a fact. I too was under the illusion of having been born. But my guru made me see that birth and death are mere ideas. Birth is merely the idea. I have a body. And death, I have lost my body. Now, when I know I am not a body, the body may be there or may not. What difference does it make? The body-mind is like a room. It is there, but I need not live in it all the time.
Yet, there is a body, and you do take care of it.
The power that created the body takes care of it.
We are jumping from level to level all the time.
There are two levels to consider, the physical, of facts, and mental, of ideas. I am beyond both. Neither your facts nor ideas are mine. What I see is beyond. Cross over to my side and see with me.
What I want to say is very simple. As long as I believe I am the body, I must not say, God will look after my body. God will not. He will let it starve, sicken, and die.
What else do you expect from a mere body? Why are you so anxious about it?
Because you think you are the body, you want it indestructible. You can extend its life considerably by appropriate practices, but for what ultimate good? It is better to live long and healthy. It gives us a chance to avoid the mistakes of childhood and youth, the frustrations of adulthood, the miseries and imbecility of old age.
By all means, live long. But you are not the master. Can you decide the days of your birth and death? We are not speaking the same language. Yours is a make-believe talk. All hangs on suppositions and assumptions. You speak with assurance about things you are not sure of.
Therefore, I am here.
You are not yet here. I am here. Come in. But you don't. You want me to live your life, feel your way, use your language. I cannot, and it will not help you. You must come to me. Words are of the mind, and the mind obscures and distorts. Hence the absolute need to go beyond words and move over to my side.
Take me over.
I am doing it, but you resist. You give reality to concepts, while concepts are distortions of reality. Abandon all conceptualization and stay silent and attentive. Be earnest about it, and all will be well with you.